Hey y'all, it's Redneck Biker 109. Here, I'm going to do some little swing arm maintenance. What I've already done is lube the dog bones already. You can take these off one by one if you want to, and just lube each one of these. And I've already done that. I won't bore you with that. But the next thing I did was I made a homemade jack. I saw this on YouTube. I don't have a lift or a jack stand or anything like that. So literally this is just a couple pieces of wood that I screwed together and made an arm, and there you go. And it works. So you can see it's supported. It's supported well. I've got two little pieces there so I don't hit the oil drain plug or whatever, and it's resting both on the frame and on the SW Motec crash bars. It works. I didn't think it would. I saw some guy on YouTube do it. I thought, that guy's an idiot. And that is totally redneck. So I knew I had to try it. And it works. So, and it supports the bike. It supports the bike's weight and everything. So what I've already done is pulled the, I guess that's the shock lower pivot bolt out. The two top ones are still in. So you don't necessarily have to take the entire swing arm off to do this. You just do it one by one. It makes the process maybe a little bit longer, I guess. My bike's only got 6,000 miles on it, so I wasn't too worried about really doing anything else as far as, wasn't worried too much about other maintenance because I pretty much had this thing apart already. So like I said, I'm not too worried about what's going on with it otherwise. So I've already got that pivot bolt out, the lower pivot bolt, and then there's another one here, and then on each side that I guess actually go into the swing arm. So this lower bolt here is, I don't know what this piece is called. Let me find out what that's called. That's called the lever, I guess, according to the climber manual, and that's chapter 13, page 250, and it kind of gives, outline of what everything is. So one of the things I found is, I'm sure you've all found it too, is it seems like none of the size of the bolts are consistent throughout the bike, and so I keep having to buy sockets. So, and I didn't have a full metric set all the way up to, like, say a 32 or whatever. So today I went to Sears and I bought a 20, because Sears is the only place that had it. Otherwise I would have gone to like Harbor Freight or someplace like that. Bought a 22. I bought a 24 as well. Which I may take that back. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it. I haven't decided yet. These are 1/2-inch drive, which go with my breaker part, so that works out pretty well. Then looking at KLR650.net and then just kind of reading as much as I could as far as grease is concerned, I went with Bel Ray, and it's a waterproof grease. I just kind of listened and read just about as much as I could get as far as forum posts are concerned on what grease to go with, and this seemed like the best option. I think it was like $12 or $13, which to me is a little expensive, but I don't know, whatever. I'm kind of kind of like all KLR owners, I'm trying to do it as cheaply as I possibly can. So, but that's neither here nor there. So I guess you can decide on what, you may prefer a different brand, but this is what works for me, and this is what I have on hand. That's what I'm going to use. So that's that as far as the grease is concerned. Now I did pull, like I said, already pulled that pivot bolt out, and it's bone stock dry. So, I mean, there's nothing here. I mean, I'm really surprised. I mean, this is what it looked like when I pulled it out. So I have some Never Dull up here somewhere where I'll just clean this off really good and get all the, that rusty stuff off there, and and then I'll lube it really good and put it back in. This came out relatively easy. I know with my little redneck jack that y'all saw over there, I mean, say what you want and laugh about it, and that's cool. I'm kind of chuckling to myself about it as well, as it works. You know, I feel like really I could probably do anything I needed to do as far as working on my bike with that thing on the jack like that. So, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pull out all these bolts and lube them up, and then I'll let you know how that works out and then what's next. One of the other things that I did get too is, you know, if you saw my other video, you saw that I just installed the KLR dash with the zero gravity sport touring windscreen. One of the things I just was kind of just farting around on the internet at work. It's kind of dangerous to do, I guess. And I ran across the, you know, and I'd considered it when I got the upper KLR dash about getting the lower dash, because it's always good to have power, right? So I ended up buying the KLR lower dash from Rocky Mountain ATV, and so I'll do that Farkle video here in the next couple weeks or so. Maybe I planned on doing that today, but I didn't get around to it. It has two 12-volt plugs, a voltage meter, and an on and off switch, so it's pretty self-explanatory. Even I think I can tackle this. I've not done electrical stuff before, but I'm getting ready to learn it. So, but like I said, it's a genuine KLR dash product that I got from Rocky Mountain ATV. Typically, I would buy direct from KLR dash, and except for this was about half price. This was $45, and like I said, at Rocky Mountain ATV. I don't have any affiliation with them. I don't really know anything more about them other than I was just on that site, and there it was for 45 bucks, and so now I have it. And I'll install that here in the next couple days. So it's pretty neat, and I'm looking forward to that, and we'll see how that goes, see if I can screw that up somehow. But and it'll be interesting to see what the rest of these bolts look like, doing the swing arm maintenance and just inspection. And the bolt itself looks pretty good. There's not any deep gouges or anything like that. And like I said, I'm going to clean it off really good and then slide it back in there. So some Bel-Ray waterproof grease. All right, so I cleaned the shaft off really good, and then I had my wife come out here and lube my shaft really good. And then, which she's, you know, my wife's an expert at lubing shafts. So I figured she would be the best at doing it. Then it's just a liberal coat of grease she put on there, and so now it's ready to slide it back into the hole. And of course, I made sure all that was clean, and that's pretty much it. I cleaned it off really well, lubed it up really good, and now it's ready to go back in its hole. All right, so you can see where I've inserted the shaft into the hole, and it's just ready to go in there. So I'm just going to pound it in there nice and gently. Sometimes you got to pound it hard. You really got to, pound it that way sometimes. Sometimes holes like to be pounded hard. Sometimes they need to be, finessed and coaxed in there. But this is one of those cases where sometimes you just got to hit it hard. So if you've supported the bike properly, as you've taken this bolt out, and as long as your bike's not shifted while you're doing this, this should just go back in pretty easily. And so there shouldn't be a whole lot of, trying real hard to do this. If you get to a point where it's, you find a lot of resistance, you need to stop and make sure everything's lined up properly, and then hit it again. So that went in there nice and easy. And then I would just use a mallet. This is the backside of a hammer I'm going to use, and just tap it in there nice and easy. I mean, it went in there so easy, I'm just going to use a paint stick. And that's all you need to do. I mean, it's in there nice and good. That might be a little too much grease in there, but considering there was none in there to begin with, I'm all right with that. So. All right, once that's through on this side, you'll have a washer or a spacer and then the bolt. So what I'm going to do is, I was going to have my wife come out here and lube the tip of my shaft, but that's really, I don't want to waste that much time. So, and I'm just going to put some more Bel-Ray waterproof grease in there. I like this stuff. It's kind of neon green. That's my thing. And I just got it in there pretty good. And then we'll put that down in there good. I don't know why I'm so surprised there's none in there. I've read plenty of forum posts on KLR650.net that you know, when they took theirs apart, there was no grease in there. And this is a 2012. I think I have like 6,800 miles now, which I'm due for a doohickey adjustment. I'm gonna do that here too in just a second. I won't bore you with that, or maybe I will. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a separate one on that. So there's enough of those out there. Probably I won't do that, but I don't know. Who knows? So then the washer goes. You know, you can really, for what I put in there, you really don't need to put any more grease on there. And then finger tighten that, of course. And this gets tightened to 72 foot-pounds, according to Mr. Climber. Is Climber a person, or is Climber just like a company? Because that dude writes a lot. And again, this is a 22. Don't cross thread this. Finger tighten it in there. And that's that. So, and we're going to torque it to 72 foot-pounds. So not surprisingly, here's the upper, sorry about that, here's the upper swing arm bolt, also bone dry. Not, I mean, I don't, it's insane. So again, those of you who are debating on whether or not you should do any swing arm lubrication or maintenance and you've got your bike already, even if you've got a 2016, clearly you need, this is something you need to consider, because there's no grease on this, none. And all this discoloration that's on this, I looked down into the swing arm hole where this shaft came out of, and there's nothing in there. So, I mean, it's got the same discoloration and everything else. So it's, I guess I shouldn't be shocked, as much as I've read on the forums, that, I mean, there it is. It's just as dirty. So I'm going to clean this up real good and get my wife. All right, it's lubed up pretty good. A little bit more liberal with this than the other one. Put a big glob right there on the thread part, and it's just going to slide right in there. And whatever comes out, comes out. I'll worry about that later. And just, like I said, it just slides right back in there. It seems to be a little more, it's tighter. So, I mean, some of this grease is just going to come right out, but and that's fine with me. At least I know there's some in there now, and versus what was in there. There was none in there before. So, and again, I just tap it back into place. You use a little finesse and just slide that bolt right in there, and that's that. Make sure you don't mess the brake cable up. It's pretty simple. I mean, you can see I'm just pushing it in there with my fingers. I mean, that's how easy it goes in there, and that's, as long as you properly supported your bike, that's how easy it should work. Bolts here with the suspension, with the dog bones or whatever, torque those correctly. These have I've already done these. I didn't do that on camera because they're just pretty short and simple. I expected a little bit difficulty with these two, but they, you know, maybe it was pretty lucky. They came in and out pretty well. So just all you gotta do is just tighten them all back up, wipe off the excess grease, and you're good to go. So
good to go. So thanks again for watching. I appreciate it. Like I said, just a good example of how you can do this without having to take the whole entire swing arm off.